From the studios of Chillicothe High School, this is your CAVS News Show.
Welcome to CAVS News. We are your hosts. I'm William Holmes.
And I'm Olivia Ray.
With the end of the first quarter here at CHS comes report cards and parent-teacher conferences. Parent-teacher conferences are a good way for parents and guardians to see how their child is doing in class. The conferences will be next week on Monday the 10th.
Also on November 10th is the Veterans Day Breakfast and Assembly. CHS invites all veterans to a breakfast that will begin at 8 a.m. and will follow into the assembly at 9 to 10 a.m. CHS will be closed the 11th to allow students to remember those who have fought to protect our country.
For all you marathon fans, the 10th annual Turkey Trot will be Thursday, November 27th. The Turkey Trot will feature a 5-kilometer route and a shorter, fun route. You can sign up online or at the Chillicothe Law Complex from 5 to 7 p.m. The building is located on 28th North Paint Street, and registration opens on Thanksgiving Day as well at 7 a.m. at the Big Lion Shelter in Yaktangi Park.
Pop culture is ever-changing, so we here at CAVS News like to keep our viewers up to date. To inform you on recent movies, music, and current trends, we'll be handing you off to Logan McCord with Culture Shock.
How's it going, guys? This is Logan McCord with your Culture Shock Report, your local insight on movies, music, and popular trends. The fall movie season is in full swing, and there's still some surprises to come along the way. Let's go to Joseph Miles, our Culture Shock cinema expert.
Thanks, Logan. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Just recently, I had the privilege to see Dracula Untold on the big screen. I felt that the film was pretty solid, with an interesting premise. Dracula Untold with a combination of history, action, and a little bit of horror, too. This film is a classic production of Universal Studios that some old folks can relate to, and it appeals to younger audiences.
Universal Studios, well known for their classic monster series of the 1930s and 40s, is seeking to revive Dracula and other old horror movies from back in the day. With today's audiences thrilling to blockbuster action movies, the studio is trying their hand at taking something old and making it appeal to younger people, which is definitely something I like. Now, this movie is actually an origin story of Dracula. It's about Dracula's beginnings as Vlad the Impaler of Transylvania. Now, like I said before, this film has its roots in history. Back in the day, in the 1400s, Transylvania was being invaded by the Turks, the Ottomans. Vlad had to protect his people from the Turks. See, this was a time in which the Christians and the Muslims were fighting because they just had the Crusades. So in order to protect his family and his country, he had to take on monstrous powers, which I won't go into too much detail, but he took on monstrous powers in order to take out the armies of the Turks. This story was not too overly cliche. Characters were pretty interesting, I felt. They were drawn from horror literature like Bram Stoker and his novel Dracula. The choreography, the stunt work that was involved was at a good amount. It wasn't too overly dramatic and ridiculous, and it wasn't boring either. And it didn't rely so much on the horror or scare aspect, which is, it's good, but, well, it's both good and it's one of the problems of this, because if you are a fan of horror, you know, this movie might not really be of interest to you, but I'm kind of glad that it didn't go so much into the horror, because I think that would have made it more cliche. As for the rest of the problems, the story seemed a bit light. I felt like there needed to be a little bit more character development, and it just kind of needs more meat, if you will. And the movie was a little bit short. I felt like there should have been maybe another half hour added to the length.
People out there who dismissed this film as boring and cliche, Dracula Untold should be reconsidered as an interesting experience. It may have a few issues, but the film is still pretty solid, and it's definitely better than what some critics will think. This film should be appreciated for what it's worth, and I believe it is worth a watch. That's just why I rate Dracula Untold 3 stars out of 5.
Thank you, Joseph. Hope you had a good Halloween, folks. On Halloween night, Hollywood was buzzing with activities. Under one roof, rock star Marilyn Manson had a cool surprise for fans when actor and fellow musician Johnny Depp came on stage and played guitar for Marilyn's hit song, The Beautiful People. Depp showed his skills with an improv solo mid-song. I'm pretty sure the crowd got their money's worth. The European Music Awards are Sunday, November 9th, and will be shown on MTV. The kickoff show will start at 7 o'clock, hosted by Nick Cannon. The award show itself will start at 8 and will be hosted by Nicki Minaj. This year's EMAs has an amazing list of performers, including Ariana Grande, Enrique Iglesias, Nicki Minaj herself, and Ed Sheeran. Tune in to see who comes home with the awards. That's all for this week. This is Logan McCord. Back to the guys in the studio.
Thank you, Logan. Well, that's all we have for this week. I'm Olivia Ray.
And I'm William Holmes. Have a wonderful and safe weekend, Chillicothe.